What is going on, true believers? Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We got a lot going on in this crazy crypto world. XRP breaks out and flips Solana next last night. So now is Solana going to rally and retake the lead over XRP? I think that that's what's going to happen. Solana was on an epic run and achieved, I think, its all-time high, got very close to it. And I think that the next big breakout for Solana is to catch Ethereum at Ethereum's current market cap while Ethereum continues its breakout. So, and by the way, Ethereum inflows were at a record high on Friday. I'm going to show you everything that's going on over there as well. So if you like this type of content, make sure that you hit the like button on the way in, and let's see what happens here. I have a big feeling here. I a really big feeling that it's about to get absolutely bonkers in this crazy crypto market. But let me know what you think. Make sure in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. Let's go.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning to everybody. And I hope you're having a great day, because I really think that cryptocurrency is about to just absolutely send. And I'm going to show you all the details and why I think that's getting ready to happen and what it's going to look like. You guys will see what I mean here. I think it's going to be huge. Okay. So good morning to you, Mike. Good morning, Blocky. Good morning to Xander, Daniel Delgado, Mike Lowry, the Muskrat King, Crypto Paradox. Good morning. Tom M. Good morning. So guys, listen, let's talk XRP real quick. And this article came out, and the funny thing about this article was it came out before anything had really happened, before we had really had that big breakout. And so the article was this: can XRP market cap flip Solana in December? Now, what's the number that I gave you guys? And by the way, I'm going to end up by the end of this being just absolutely off on it, because if you look at it right now, 264. Now, I gave you that I think it was going to correct at around 252 and that we might see a dump happening right here. Now, it's been here for a few hours, so we were certainly right about the location of it, and you can see right here, but it is quickly and rapidly breaking out. This was the area of rejection that we got, and it rejected, but it did not reject very far, coming down to 221 before continuing on. And that is a great sign, not just for XRP, who's been waiting for a very long time for this to happen, but for the broader crypto market. The broader crypto market now sees a big time rally happening on a big time project. And it looks like, by the way, that resistance that we're getting right here, we zoom out, we got to go a long way back to see this, by the way, but we're getting towards the top right now. And, I told you guys this is going to be the resistance area, right? Well, it looks like it's not even going to put up a fight, that we're going to end up breaking out here, going to 333 and then going on. Now, listen, the number that I gave you for the end of this year, $27 for XRP. And I'm going to stand by that, because we are just getting started. We're just now getting to the point where, we finally got the XRP breakout. This is early, but we got the XRP breakout. We've been getting the Ethereum breakout, sort of. Solana, again, sort of having a breakout. Cardano as well, up until a few hours ago, like really just continuing on. Again, this move was the same thing that we're seeing from XRP without the longer term dip. That this dip is days, the other one was hours, but it minted another local high, and we should see Cardano break out to 309. I mean, I think that we're getting to the spot right now where right there, $1.65 on Cardano, and then move to 240, and then an absolute breakout on Cardano coming forward. And this is going to be if this is all true. And what I mean by if this is all true is in the event that Charles Hoskinson is in fact on some kind of crypto council for President Donald Trump, then we could see Cardano really, really, really blow up in market cap. Now, if you're keeping track, Bitcoin still number one, Ethereum number two, but look at this. XRP is officially number 3 right now, up 89% right now in the course of the last 7 days. 150 billion market cap. Money is pouring into this market. Now, let me also point out, not only is XRP at almost 151 billion market cap, not only is that still continuing to surge, but Tether was at 133 billion. It's up another billion, which basically means that people are putting their money back into the market and they're going into stable coins because this market is about to really, really send and about to really, really go crazy. Now, looking at this from a 7-day standpoint, I mean, 88% gain over here, but you got Cardano up 14, you got Avalanche up 14, you've got SHIB up 17. SHIB finally having a little bit of a breakout, down 10% in the last 24 hours, but certainly had a big breakout. Toncoin up 10%, Chainlink up 18%, Litecoin up 30%. And by the way, Litecoin, XRP tend to kind of flow together. So as long as you're getting a breakout on one, you probably get a breakout on the other. Uniswap up 22%. So you're getting a lot of different positive moves in the market. And look, I think there's going to be consolidation to this through the end of the year, but that doesn't mean that it won't go up. Back in 2020, we witnessed the same thing. Things that are playing out right now. You know what? I'll show you. I'll feed you, baby bird. I will feed you, baby bird. Anyway, so the question being asked here was, could XRP flip Solana? Not only did it flip Solana, it has exploded above Solana. Just a few short days ago, XRP was not in this range. It was under Solana and, for that matter, BNB. Now the surge is on, and yeah, baby. What can you say? I mean, this is a gigantic move, but it's just the start. It's just the start. So the article basically goes on to say, as Solana encounters its own challenges, XRP seems to be taking full advantage of the shift in market sentiment. So Brad Garlinghouse has famously met with President Donald Trump. So now we have, there's a real possibility, it's just a real distinct probability here that this is just the beginning of, let's get up here, that this is the beginning of something that just is going to be a gigantic move. Now, in contrast here, Solana remains range bound around 237, posting a modest 0.5% daily gain, struggling near key resistance at $240. And by the way, that is true. We are kind of struggling at 240 right in this range right here, but it did wick up to 265, which, by the way, 264.63 is the all-time high. So Solana went to its all-time high, wicked back down. I mean, that's exactly what normally happens, right? Now, it hasn't had a full retracement yet. At best, at this point, you're looking at this move right here, which is the 50 MA, and you've got the 200 MA, which is coming up like this. I would still feel comfortable right here, and then a big surge coming from here, taking this thing. By the way, $400. I think Solana is about to surge to about $400, and it's the Fibonacci right here. Let me pull this. All right, so we're going to remove this and we're going to recreate it, by the way. Pop that off. And then I set it for the defaults right now. So let's do that right there. So if we hit to the golden ratio, which, by the way, I had at 520, it happens to be 511. So we could be looking at just a huge surge, almost from the top, a 100% surge from where it is right now, roughly. But 511 is the next big impulse move for Solana if it plays out the way it looks like it's going to play out. Now, one of the things that we should recognize here is chains, and we want volume. Where is the volume coming? The volume is coming from Solana, 3.37 billion, Ethereum, 2 billion, BSC, 1.4 billion. Okay, so just to consider here, the place where all the money is transacting right now is on Solana. And that's it. I mean, you come down here, I mean, Kronos, $12 million in a day. I mean, look, that's a business. It does business. It's in the business of doing business with business people, businessing and all that, you know. When you don't know what you're saying, that's when you say that, right? But I mean, that's Solana is the king right now. Not only is the total value locked up to almost 9 billion right now. By the way, Ethereum is still at 70 billion. So who we bullshitting here? Just so you guys understand, we were talking about this when Solana was at 5 billion and Ethereum was at 50 billion. So even though we're seeing a surge in Solana, Ethereum is not being denied. 70 billion is how much it has in total value locked, compared to the total value locked here of 8.8 billion. Now, also look at the stable coins over here. There's about 4.6 billion in stable coins sitting on Solana, but there's 104 billion sitting on Ethereum. So when go back here, when I tell you that this money is sitting here waiting to come back into the market, right there, that $134 billion, it's sitting there in Tether, waiting to be used and to be deployed, then it should stand to reason, just for an understanding here, it's on the Ethereum network. Now, it could be transferred easily, but it most likely won't be. It's most likely going to be used to buy stuff with an Ethereum sort of pairing. So, guys, it is about to get very, very real here. Now, again, I do think that Solana is going to surge, but here's the thing. XRP's momentum is driven by recent legal clarity in its favor, boosting investor confidence. The favorable court ruling regarding XRP status as a non-security has reinvigorated institutional interest, evidenced by rising daily trading volumes. Moreover, its utility in cross-border payments combined with Ripple's expanding partnerships in Asia and the Middle East continue to drive adoption. So what you're getting ultimately is these continued partnerships, continued playouts. And look, 7 years of consolidation are now coalescing into a real opportunity. Okay. All you have to do at this point is just hodl. All you have to do is just hold on for dear life, guys. That's all that's left here. And by the way, this might take a little bit longer than it's taking right now, because I mean, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you guys have been waiting for so long for all of this to happen. And let's get rid of this for this little breakout right here. And now you're witnessing the absolute annihilation of expectations. The only thing left, by the way, right now, the only thing left is this final breakout here, and we don't need that anymore, to $3.31. And look, it's happening right now. And that's the 2618 area. So I do think that would continue the surge. You'd see maybe a little profit taking so that somebody can say, well, I sold the top. But I think you're going to get a surge to $5 coming very, very soon. And if it goes to $5, I want you I want to point this out. It would still not be at Ethereum's level. Just so you guys understand, it would still not even be near what Ethereum is doing. So it is very important for you guys to recognize that XRP can still go a very, very long way and still, again, not even be on the same realm as Ethereum, which is also, again, in surge mode. It's up 10% over the course of 7 days, not 95% like XRP, but there's a long way to go. And, each one of these surges does result in some profit taking along the way. And I would suspect that if we get this continued surge right now, and it goes up to this all-time high, then you're probably going to see a big correction to the downside. Can you do a SHIB, TA? The Bears lost. You know what? It is a reminder that the Bears did lose. By the way, my last video, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. My last video for the Chicago Bears got like 35,000 views. So I appreciate each and every one of you for checking it out, if you did. And if you didn't, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? So as far as SHIB goes, SHIB had just an enormous breakout, and I said it was going to consolidate. Whoops. I said it was going to consolidate and then have another breakout, and then it was going to come up to this range right here. So I've already done it for you, Trail Boss. I think that what we're looking at right now, and by the way, this is a softer surge than what we're looking at right now. And I think that might have to do with the market conditions not being favorable. But what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to get a continued SHIB move up to this range, breakout above this right here. And then that's where it breaks out again. Now, at this point, we have to zoom out. We have to really look at like, where is the volume? Is there anything holding us back, right? And the only thing, and it's psychological, is this right here and this right here, this little trend line that's going down right here. So breaking out above that is basically paramount at this point. So in the event that we can get into this range and then break out, then I would expect that what you're going to see is another continued surge up to the all-time high, okay? Right up into this range right here. That is almost a 3x from where it is, but that's not the end of it. SHIB market cap at that point is $17 billion. If it triples in value, which is what it would take to get right into that all-time high range. If it does that, that's 50 billion market cap. Let's go use a comparison. And what is the comparison? Well, it would be Dogecoin. Dogecoin's at 62 billion right now. So there's still room for SHIB to grow. One of these meme coins has to be the first one to 100 billion market cap. It looks like it's going to be Dogecoin. However, SHIB, with its ecosystem and its environment, and the fact that as you look at it right now, Doge is up 5%, SHIB is up 17%. People are finding reasons to shift into Shiba Inu right now. So consider that SHIB would go 3x, but it would go 6x and still be the first one to 100 billion or the second one to 100 billion. And I think it's important to point out, just so everybody knows, both of them are going to go to 100 billion, in my opinion now. It's not going to take much for SHIB to do it, or for Doge to do it. SHIB's going to take a little bit more, but SHIB is probably headed to 100 billion as well. So, I mean, basically you're looking at about 7x from where you are right now, maybe a 6x. So, but yeah, I think that, you know, we're in that spot right now. So we will see a big surge coming very, very soon, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, I think that I think that SHIB is ready for that next big move. Now, here's the problem. The problem is, are they going to happen when you want them to? And I don't really answer that. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. I don't know what your mental schedule is or anything like that for it as well. So, but I mean, it ultimately, you know, we're in, I think, the beginning of altcoin season, or a mini altcoin season. I don't know that it's going to be, you know, I mean, here we have to move around here and look just, you know, up and down the line, right? Let's do that. So, XRP is up 18%, Aave is up 12%, Avalanche is up 10%, Filecoin's up 5%, HBAR is up another 30%, LUNC is up 13%, Quant is up 14.5%, Uniswap is up 10%, VeChain's up 8%. So we're having certain breakouts. I mean, again, overall, we're in a really good spot. We're in a really good spot. This is the spot where you should get a surge by Bitcoin one more time to finally break through 100,000. This is where we should be getting a Bitcoin surge up to 100,000. And then we should start to see some dumping and profit taking, and then a move down into alts. First up, number one, big caps. Okay. And what are we seeing right now? We're seeing exactly what I just said. We're seeing big caps, XRP starting to surge, going down this list right here. Big caps starting to surge, XRP surging, Cardano surging, Avalanche surging, Tron, not really surging, but Tron's got a lot of time. I think Tron will be 100 billion as well. Toncoin, SHIB surging, Chainlink surging, Hedera, HBAR up 98%, surging. Litecoin, 33%, surging. Uniswap, surging. These are the high caps, right? When we go to page 2, is where we get into mid cap. Conflux up 22%, Zcash up 20%. As we move down into this range, we don't see as much. We see just a general, come along with us 20% pump. But here we go. Hyperliquid up 162%, virtuals up 146%. These things are going to start to break out a lot. We're going to start to see some of these start to break out very, very soon if they're not already breaking out, and some of them are breaking out. However, when you take this out, then you get into microcaps. Microcaps, that's where we want. That's where our money is going to be made, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the big breakout in those micro caps. So, and that's going to be part of the. And by the way, we're up on the day. We were down $85 billion at one point today. We're up 4.75 billion as of this moment. But here's the thing: Bitcoin down 0.5%. This is all going into. If you can look at this and you can see it over here, right there. The total that includes Bitcoin is only up 0.14. The total including Ethereum is up 0.9. Total 3 that excludes Ethereum and Bitcoin is up 2% on the day. So it looks like we're getting an altcoin season right now, or at least we're getting the makings of an altcoin season. Of course, that's part of XRP. If we come look, by the way, at the altcoin season index, probably in the range. There it is. So 76 is where we are. That's altcoin season. So if we get this continued surge, and I think, again, if we do this, and we continue on, then this is where we got it, and it led into that big pump through March, right? So if this is the case, and we really are in this altcoin season, then expect to see a continued surge. Solana is going to 400. Some of these small caps are going to be coming around. AI3, I told you, $100. DevvE, $50. Like, these things are going to absolutely break out pretty soon. And, last call for get on the bus-a-hall. I don't know, alcohol, call it whatever you want. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's get into more of this stuff. So now, South Korea to postpone 20% crypto tax for the third time, which is actually a pretty good. The 20% levy on crypto income tax already been postponed twice since 2021. The country's left-wing Democratic Party, which holds a majority of the legislature, said it has agreed to the 2-year delay as proposed by the government and the ruling People Power Party. If approved, this would be the third time Korea has proposed the 20% tax on cryptocurrency gains exceeding 2.5 Korean won. The proposed delay is set to be voted on during the plenary session of the National Assembly on Monday. The Democratic Party previously pushed for the tax plan to take effect January 1 of 2025, but with a higher tax deductible threshold of 50 million Korean won instead of the current 2.5 million. So the leader said at a press briefing on Sunday that the party agreed to the delay as it thought the tax plan required further regulatory refinement. And that probably means they need more clarity in the crypto market. So another delay in South Korea. And by the way, that's bullish. That's bullish for crypto largely. That means that Koreans are not paying taxes on their crypto at this point, which means that they're going to be motivated. Okay. Also, Michael Saylor tells Microsoft its value could soar to $5 trillion with Bitcoin. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor gave Microsoft a 3-minute, 44-slide pitch on why it should spend $100 billion a year to buy Bitcoin. And by the way, if you look at MicroStrategy, it's played out perfectly for them. And if you look at it from Microsoft's standpoint, Microsoft, if they were buying $100 billion worth of Bitcoin every year, imagine what that would do, and imagine what that would drain on the supply. Imagine how that would affect this broader market. These are the kind of things that are happening, guys. This is why you should be so bullish on what's going on. And remember, most of these guys are transactional. They're not here like Michael Saylor because they want to hold Bitcoin until the end of time and be the king of the Bitcoin world. They want it transactionally because it's good for their bottom line. And they're going to sell. And some of these guys are going to be motivated to sell when Bitcoin starts to pump. And that's going to precipitate altcoin seasons. That's where you're going to see that money starting to cascade down. And that's where you're going to see the whole market just get absolutely bonkers. By the way, XRP is now breaking out to $2.70. So The surge is continuing here, and we're starting to see it on a few other caps. HBAR is going off still. LUNC is continuing to surge. So, and by the way, Chainlink continuing to surge is good for things like API 3. It's good for things like Pyth. Just because you're not seeing it today doesn't mean that you won't see it over the next couple of days. $100 XRP soon? I don't think so. I'm gonna call it $27. If it goes beyond $27, then all bets are off. But $100 seems a little aggressive with the current supply being what it is and how much the Ripple Foundation still holds on to. So I don't know that that's the case, but $27 I think is in the bag. But anyway, so you're seeing API 3, you're seeing Pyth, you're seeing all these RWAs that will probably start to really, really surge. Xander, I think that's going to be the top. I think that's going to be about a year from now. Like it can't like if it 10x's from where it is right now, you have to consider that turns it into a $1 billion market cap or $1 trillion market cap. 10x from where it is right now is $1.5 trillion. That's huge. That's huge. That puts it in line with Bitcoin, which, by the way, it should be or would deserve to be, and Ethereum. So the money's coming into the market, by the way. The money's coming in. Like these guys have made the moves. They've made the moves to enter into these arenas. So it's only going to continue from here. And remember, the Trump administration, they're going to approve a Bitcoin, an Ethereum, an XRP ETF. They're probably going to approve a Solana ETF. So we're probably about to see some crazy shit. And remember, the biggest problem with the securities laws is based on staking. And I know a lot of people like to blah, 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 blah. No, they're attacking the crypto. They're attacking cryptocurrency, and you're trying to make it. And that's the way you sound in my brain when you say dumb shit. The fight that the SEC continues to have, if you listen to what the SEC continues to say, is the fight is about staking. If they remove that, all bets are off. Ethereum becomes a staking premise. The Ethereum ETF would allow for staking. If that happens, Ethereum blows up to 13,000. It starts to go crazy. The problem is staking. So we'll get some clarity from the Trump administration on whether staking in cryptocurrency makes it a security. Because if your expectation is profit, that's not exactly it, right? That doesn't make it a security necessarily. There's 4 different factors in the Howey test. So we'll see whether or not this happens, but I do think that we're going to see a lot more ETFs coming very, very soon. And remember what I showed you just a moment ago, the total 1, total 2, total 3, you're going to see those come into play as well. And you're going to see like total 3 will become an ETF fund. So all of this stuff is going to be, it's going to get absolutely bonkers and crazy, guys. I'm telling you right now. And by the way, this guy's name is wrong. Says Ripple using XRP high value could be what MicroStrategy are doing with Bitcoin for their pro value. That's exactly right. And by the way, there's a lot of companies that need to be doing this. So not in their interest to sell maybe. Well, so here's the thing. Crypto is transactional. Okay. If you want to control Bitcoin in some way, I'm sure that there will be some people out here who are going to make those kind of splashy sort of moves. I'm sure that it's going to happen. I'm 100% positive. However, most people should be transactional. And here's the thing. I don't need Microsoft to sell because Microsoft doesn't matter to me. I don't need MicroStrategy to sell. They don't matter to me. It's people like myself who are waiting for $100,000 Bitcoin to sell. Those are the people that are going to put the money into altcoins and meme coins. Those are the people that are going to make this market. Those are the market makers. That's what we want to see. I don't really care about the bigs. They're just good for pushing price up. And at some point, they do have to sell. At some point, just to make sure. Just to make sure that they're profitable and to answer for stockholders, those kind of people, those are the ones right now that will have to sell just a little bit here and there but they won't have to sell a lot, especially if you're averaging like 37,000 in your DCA, like Michael Saylor was up until just recently, 37,000. Like you're going to want to sell a little bit to pay for everything to make sure. Because what he's doing, by the way, is he's buying Bitcoin, creating higher valuation, and then borrowing against the Bitcoin in order to buy more Bitcoin, which he knows is not going to matter because price is going to continue to go up and continue to appreciate. So he's running, basically right now, he's running a Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. That's the issue. Well, when will XRP be held on balance sheets? I think that takes clarity from Congress, and so I think it's going to be a few more months. Like I think what we should look for is this: Republicans don't take over, and this is, by the way, here's what matters. Republicans are aligned with libertarians in cryptocurrency. That's what matters. So what we need is a Republican Senate, we need a Republican House, we need a Republican presidency. We will have those on January 20th when the president is sworn in and the new Congress takes hold and the new Senate takes hold. We will have a complete sweep. And that's when you'll see some dramatic changes happening very, very quickly. Okay. Cynthia Lummis already leading the stablecoin legislation. The SEC's SAB 121, which was bullshit to begin with. SAB 121 is going to be repealed immediately. I'm sure either Marco Yida or it's not going to be Hester Pierce, by the way. It doesn't seem like she's part of it, but the new head of the SEC, they will, I'm sure, get rid of SAB 121 immediately and come up with something a little bit better, or nothing at all because it's not needed, which is, by the way, what's allowing, and two things, by the way. Number one, SAB 121 will be gone, which is the one that says that banks cannot hold cryptocurrency on their balance sheet, which will open the way for XRP to be held on balance sheets. Number one. And then number two, Operation Choke Point 2.0 will end right away. Brad Garlinghouse will stop being debanked. Charles Hoskinson will not be debanked because, that's what's happening right now. The Biden administration choking them out because they don't have control. Liz Warren, Joe Kahanis, that's what she wanted, right? So it's coming. It'll probably take 2 or 3 months, but you'll start to see some forward-thinking companies holding XRP, holding Solana, holding Ethereum, not just Bitcoin on their balance sheets. It's coming. Just going to take a little bit longer until the actual administration takes over. So, but yeah, Michael Saylor buying a lot of Bitcoin. And Elon Musk has filed a lawsuit. This really isn't crypto related, but it is Elon Musk related, which is kind of the same thing sometimes. But he's filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft over antitrust claims, and Sam Altman, all these guys. So he's filed a preliminary injunction against OpenAI and its key partners, including Microsoft, for alleged anti-competitive practices as stated by his legal team. The class action lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court of the Northeast District of California on Friday evening and names OpenAI, Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, Microsoft, and several other associated with the company. Tesla CEO lawyers say that the OpenAI has changed its focus from a nonprofit and is using tactics that are damaging the competition in the AI sector. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next little while. Ashton says, what caused the most recent pump in XRP? It was time. I mean, look, here's the thing. Number one, Donald Trump's presidency. I guess we should summarize this and say there's plenty of different things that happen. But number one, Donald Trump's presidency, which changed the dynamic of the SEC. Then you had Gary Gensler's resignation on effective January 20th, which means that no matter what, the attack on XRP is going to end. That also means that the lawsuit won't be dismissed, but they will stop the appeal process. And what that means is most likely XRP pays a penalty of $125 million, and that lawsuit is settled and done. So the expectation at this point, and by the way, they've already sold the XRP to pay the lawsuit months and months and months ago, and they put it into an escrow account that's just waiting for the SEC to either cave and take the money or to continue their quote unquote fight against freedom. So because Gary Gensler is done, and because you can delay this lawsuit past Gary Gensler's resignation, then there's no path forward, which means now XRP can just go crazy and it can do what it was meant to do back in the beginning, which is really kind of take over and redefine cross-border payment transactions across the world. Now, the SWIFT payment system will slowly kind of go away, in my opinion, and it'll be like one of those BRICS things. So that's what's happening. To summarize, Donald Trump being president and everything, all of the fallout because America is now pro-crypto. So the lawsuit is what prohibited it from breaking out to begin with and what caused it to crash. So now it's breaking back out and going to where it was always meant to be. And it's probably still very undervalued in this market. So again, my prediction at the end of this, $27.75 is where it's going to end up. And that's 10x from where it is right now. 10x, 10 more X, by the way, that might not, you might be thinking like, well, I need more than that. Well, I'm sorry, but that's $1.5 trillion. So, shit, you know what I mean? Anyway, now, we got to move on here. US spot Ethereum ETF log all-time high daily inflows as the price rally continues. So I want to show you guys this. This was the flow on Friday for Bitcoin, 318 million on Friday, and then 69, by the way, so far today. But the Ethereum, look at this, 92,000 Ethereum in one day, $332 million in inflows on Ethereum in one day, which is the biggest one ever. It's now at 576 million since the Ethereum ETF launched back in July. Now, when you look at Ethereum since then, there we go, right here. We're back to where we were. This is where it launched, by the way. This is where it launched. And then the dump happened right after because buy the rumor, sell the news. And price, by the way, has not caught up. Just to be clear here, price for Ethereum has not caught up with the anticipation of that ETF. That ETF comes in, big dump happens because we buy the rumor, we sell the news. Now we're going. And by the way, all of this was down. Now, however, we now have an inflow of 576 million. And what we don't see so far is the price matching where we were previously. And that was in March over here when we were at 4,000. So I would expect to see a surge up here to this 0.618 number very, very soon. I think that Ethereum is about to break out even more. And by the way, look, we're getting a golden cross on the daily right here. In the next 2 days, we'll have a golden cross. And in 2020, by the way, after the Thanksgiving weekend in 2020, the market erupted for a little while. So I think we're going to get a continuation of some of this big movement, and we might even see Ethereum just surge up to 4,500 very, very soon. So, but let's keep moving on. Top 5 crypto traders. So there's a list of people that you want to follow in cryptocurrency, and they gave a list of 5. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to give you these 5 guys: Don Alt, Crypto Cred, Emperor BTC, Rookie XBT, and the Crypto Dog. So these are the 5 people that these guys are talking about. You might want to follow to pay attention to what is happening in this market. Okay, so just check those guys out if you haven't already. You heard the names. Hit rewind if you need to. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at 80 right now. Let's move on here and let's talk about, one more thing that we need to talk about was Luna Classic. Luna Classic currently at 13,062. There was an article that came out and it said that the expectation was that the next big impulse move coming from Luna Classic was going to be up here to this 268 right here. And that's going to be at 14,773. I didn't have this up here high enough for that. So I'm not sure. And I'm not sure that that's the move or that that's the play. However, there is a symmetry to it. So what I do think is going to happen is I do think that we're going to get this move to the golden ratio. That golden ratio right now is basically 2 zeros 1. Just a little under that, but 2 zeros 1. And so I think we're going to have about 1,000. We're going to have about a 10x coming from Luna Classic in very short order. And I will be interviewing Leonardo regarding the ceramic repeg proposal. He's going to come on. I think we're going to film it either today or tomorrow, and then we'll get it released to you guys on my daily LUNC videos. But last season, what we got was sideways action until January, and then January, that's when everything broke out. So that's when I think this thing is going to break out. I don't know that it's going to break out before then. So that's what I'm anticipating for Luna Classic. Now, MSI token, if you haven't already, come check out MSI token. And by the way, it is currently sitting at about a $2 million market cap, 2.16 million market cap, 440,000 in liquidity. Down like this. This is, by the way, if you're not paying attention, you look at this and you're like, oh, this is dead, dog, because you don't know what you're talking about, right? However, if you're smart, then what you're doing is you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, this thing surged super hard. It's being supported. It's got a dev team behind it. The market is not pricing in micro cap yet. It's only doing big caps, which means that the money is being sucked out of micro caps to go into large caps like XRP. But then at some point, somebody's going to find this and be like, oh, shit. And this thing is going to absolutely take off because of this right here, $444,000 in liquidity. That's a giant liquidity pool that they're going to be attacking at some point, right? And then what does that mean? That means price appreciation like a mofo dog. And I think that you're going to be looking at a gigantic surge here. So this is the chart. And this is what I gave you guys just a while back as for what's going to happen here. In my opinion right now is that we're going to surge back into this golden ratio coming very, very soon. That's going to be 5 zeros 5, anywhere between 5 zeros 45 and 5 zeros 54, that we're going to have a big surge into this location here. And then from here, we'll have like a retracement because that's what happens. And then we'll have a breakout to the all-time high again. And it's coming very, very soon. I think that Pablo, look, I don't know how the market is going to trend, but I know that Pablo tends to be at the forefront of the market when it comes down to it. So I think that what you're going to see here on MSI is you're going to see this just absolutely crazy secondary surge. Now, here's the thing. I do want to point this out. When you look at it from a market cap perspective, and this is important, the market cap for this project was only 22.23. The next surge is due. And by the way, it could go to 40 million. I should point this out, but it doesn't make any sense right now to stop at 40 million. So I think the next big surge takes it from 2 million up to close to 100 million. That's what makes sense. And if you look at Pepe, if you look at SHIB, if you look at all these other wins that eventually that go, that do this, but they get supported and have a community, then what you see is that big surge, right? Well, the big surge here goes to 100 million market cap, and that's going to be about 50x from where it is right now. So I do think that MSI is going to be due for just an absolutely crazy sort of surge. Also, don't forget to check out Coins Check Coin and saving on gas fees. Look at them. That's awesome. So if you are interested, then check out CCC. And God, I can't even make this shit up, right? This thing is doing exactly what. Look, this is the perfect chart, by the way, so far for a big move. All right, so I just remove everything off of here and just leave the Fibonacci, and you can see it. You had the initial surge, right? And this is the way the market's playing, right? You had the initial surge, then you had the back test, then you had the 236 test, then you had it come down back into the golden ratio, and then what happens from the golden ratio? Then it comes back up and it tests the all-time high. And then if it's successful, then it breaks out and it goes to the golden zone. And the golden zone up here is going to be 3 zeros 35. So this surge right here is about a 3x from where it is right now. So, I mean, that's, I don't make the rules. I just point them out. So it looks like CC Coin is ready for another move. Now, I'm also able to inform you that she is going to work for the CC coin is about to be exposed to a lot more people on a much bigger channels or on much bigger channels than it has been before. So you might see CC Coin absolutely break out and go crazy very, very soon. Another one probably going to break out. Why do I keep following that? For some reason, I unfollow stuff. But BitBull. This is a pit bull based on Bitcoin, so it's BitBull, and it's BIBU token BitBull, and there it is right there. The contract address. I'm gonna put that in here for you guys. It's on a little bit of a dump right now, but I want to be the first one to tell you this is a micro cap, and as a micro cap, it's up about 10% on the day. But this is a micro cap, 73,000. It's got 48,000 in liquidity. It broke out of Pumped.fund. Now the next move. Remember what I said here. What I said was you have your impulse move, and then after your impulse move, you have your secondary pump. Secondary pump goes to the 236. It's going to go to this 236 pretty soon, which is 1474, which you might be able to argue it did right here. But then it came back down into this range. But here's the thing, it didn't come down all the way. You know what? Let's make an argument that it did. So then this is the move. And now the next move for this project is back up here to 1863, and then a breakout again into that golden ratio 45, which is, by the way, 6x from where it is right now. The next expected move for BitBull is a 6 or 7x back up into this range. And by the way, when I say that, that might sound crazy to you, but the market cap on it is micro. It's only 74,000 market cap, but the liquidity is locked and burned. So, I mean, there's no rug pulling it, and there's no giant wallets or anything like that. The only thing left here is for this thing to go, it's 14x to a million market cap, right? Just to a million market cap, 14x. So is that going to happen? Well, it's up 183% on the last 7 days. So you tell me, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to break out. It's going to find some people. Again, micro cap. So micro caps take a little time before they break out. But once it does, and by the way, it doesn't even matter. All it matters is a little bit of money starts coming this way. People start speculating and saying, you know what, let's go for this one. It just takes a little bit, and then boom, this thing absolutely sends. And, before you know it, you're up 15, 20x, and you don't even know what you did. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens like that. So if you haven't already, go check out BitBull, because again, it doesn't take much. And then this thing will probably just reward the absolute shit out of you. And as a matter of fact, we need to get it on ticker trending. That might help tremendously as well. I'll reach out to the team and see if they want to do that. We also have CHEDDA here. This is the last day of coverage on CHEDDA. CHEDDA on Solana. CHEDDA is still down, having a struggle. If you guys, and by the way, we talked about this before, if you made your money off of it, because we started talking about over here, it had a huge surge. And I told you guys right here around 2005, take your money. Don't get caught letting it come all the way down. Now, it is all the way down. This is where you can buy back in. This is the spot right here to buy back in for another big surge. That other big surge is coming again. So make sure that buy yourself just a little bag of CHEDDA. I mean, and I'll put it this way, put $100 in here, and if it 12x's to a 10 million market cap, then you turned $100 into $1,000. That's all it takes. You know what I mean? And just do that a few times a month, and guess what? You're winning. You're winning this game. You know what I mean? I know you're looking for more, by the way, but be realistic. So also, if you look over here, DevvE, this is the magic one. This is the magic one for me. This is my high level conviction play. Broke out of its trend right here. You can see that it was kind of trending into this little consolidation pattern. Broke out so far. Now, whether it stays out remains to be seen. As I'm looking at it right now, it doesn't look like it's broken out and stayed broken out. It's come back down for a retest for 3 days now. That usually isn't a great sign. But if it surges just a little bit and we get a breakout, then the next breakout move is going to be up here into this range right here, which is going to be over 50 cents. And then after that, you got this level right here around 67. So, and by the way, look, this is a permissioned blockchain. For anybody who doesn't know, If you're here because of XRP, DevvE, I don't know if it's going to be the next XRP. It's a little hard to say something like that. But if it is, then, and by the way, I'm predicting that it's going to break out super hard over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to see it at $10 by the end of this year. That was my prediction. And I'm going to stick with it for right now. And by the way, I gave you the prediction for XRP. I gave you the prediction for Solana. So I've been hitting a lot of these. So this thing, I think, is going to have a big surge. If it has that big surge, like I think, then this is a game changer, right? I do think we're going to get it. It's happening very, very soon. And, we'll see how hard it runs, how high it goes. But I do think that 967 is a reasonable number. 252 was my prediction for XRP. The prediction for XRP was $2.52. It was, I don't know if I still put it, I think I pulled it down off the chart when we hit it, but it was right here, $2.52 on the 6. It was the golden ratio right there. So it hit, it hit a little bit early. Like I thought, I mean, shout out to XRP. It is making shit happen right now, but I did think that it was going to take a little bit longer. So, all right. But anyway, so from the DevvE ecosystem, it is just, this is the greenest, this is the easiest project on the planet for you to get the big win that you're looking for. In my opinion, I have 2 conviction plays this cycle, okay, in altcoins, DevvE and API 3. API 3, I think, goes to $100, and then DevvE goes to about 50 in this cycle. And I think and by the way, there is an announcement for DevvE that I think will change the very face of everything. But I just don't know when it's going to happen because it's a Web 2 company. And when they make that announcement, and I think I know who the company is, but I don't know for sure who the company is. Again, I tell you guys all this all the time. I talk about it back in September of 2023. So, we'll see. But look, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. If DevvE is what I think it is, then what you need to do is look at it from, the circulating supply standpoint, total supply standpoint, how high can it go standpoint, and it's a permissioned blockchain. XRP is at 152 billion. Okay. So if DevvE right now went to $50, that's going to be a 150x from where it is. 150x for the 14. This is going to be maybe 2 billion. So I think it's going to go way beyond 2 billion. I mean, I think when you start to look around at these market caps and shit, like you got to think that this thing does more than a lot of these other ones. So it is 20, 30, 40 billion as a project at a minimum, in my opinion. Okay. So yeah, I think that DevvE I look, all I'm saying is a 20 billion market cap, a $30 billion market cap is like 2000x from where it is right now. Yeah, about 2000x from where it is right now. So you want a 2000x DevvE, and see what happens. Total market cap still surging. XRP continuing to surge. Is there anything else? HBAR, Hedera is just continuing its breakout. Cardano just started breaking out again. So that's happening. There you go, guys. All right. So massive breakouts all around. This crypto market is ready to soar. Again, right now, big cap. Medium cap very shortly is going to start. They're going to start breaking out. Some of them have already started breaking out. Micro caps after that are going to start breaking out. They have not started breaking out yet. My micro caps, my mid cap is going to be API 3. My micro cap is going to be DevvE. It is just a matter of time at this point, but there is a limited amount of time. I think Solana is going to surge to $400. I think XRP. I mean, XRP has every reason to just continue on at this point to the next level, which is $5. I mean, LFG, baby. Let's go. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already. If you're on X, make sure you share me with anybody and everybody who's out there. Repost this. It would help me out. Make sure you hit the like button so that other people see it. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. The good folks at Cryptonomy.finance are handing me incredible rewards. Let me show you what I'm about to earn. I put in 25 Solana. I'm about to earn 24 Solana on December 26th, the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas to me. Folks, it gets even better. On February 10 of 2025, I'm going to earn 0.17 Bitcoin, currently valued a little bit over $11,000. Folks, I gave them Tether. I gave them 1,670. I'm going to get 1,336 as my reward. All you have to do is sign up at Cryptonomy.finance and listen. The important piece is the launch pool. If you set up a staking contract with this launch pool, you're going to get rewarded based on a 9x from Shieldium, based on a 6x from World of Dipians, 5x from Kima Network, a 5x from RWA. These are significant yields being earned on a daily basis by this team. My first contract completed a while back on November 21, and I earned a total income of $168,481, of which my income off of this in a 50-50 split, $84,241. Folks, the bull run is here. All you have to do is now sit back, stake your crypto, and earn rewards. Don't forget, down in the description below are the links to the Telegram, the links to all of the socials, including Twitter, links to information and news websites sponsored by Cryptonomy.finance, and article sites for myself and several other influencers. So go check them out today.